that industry is slow. It's just like when we started some time ago the telecommunication center. As soon as it began, every corner you could see a telecommunication center. And that was one of the reasons why it was very important, was that many of us in the Ghanaian community needed to talk, we like talking. And our loved ones were not at home. And sometimes it looks cool to be the one in the area who only go to the telecom center and they take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a little, and we talk plenty. When are you coming down? So all those things. But all of a sudden, whilst we were talking, we were asking that if you are coming, bring me what? So after some time, the telecom companies were helping people talk to their friends and loved ones who were outside. Shot themselves in the leg. They allowed people to bring more phones down, and now the phones became cheaper by the virtue of having the TV phones from Nigeria and China. Now we started having the problem where I won't go to the telecom center. It's much more about me sitting at home and calling. So we can watch it now. Then it also went on a little bit. Where will you get the airtime to buy? By the time you start realizing now your neighbor in your house or your mother is still saying airtime to you in the same house you're living in. So we've had all these interesting things that in the telecom sector we have low barriers of entry for some of the niche sectors of the sector. Niche industries within the bigger industry of the telecom sector. We have the telecommunication center. We have space to space. It became big. At some time, it also went down. Now, the reason why all of them go down faster is the market entrants find it very easy, or even other mechanisms in society will make it easy. For space to space, it got some time. I think telecom companies were even helping some of the guys who were selling airtime to move on to having their own setup. And it was also a means of advertising. I hear in some communities they can come and then, if you have a small house, you just paint the house red and green to be able to work. And they start giving you some of the air credits or airtime for you to sell. So you have new market entrants who are coming in with lower barriers or with less asset investments. So they have more opportunity to gain value than you. Then we move on to trend of substitutes. The reason why I wrote Casapreco, I pointed it out there is, you remember that there's a time that Casapreco, if you type go to Ghana web, they started arresting people who were pirating their products. Especially Alomo printers and Opay printers, they were pirating them. Now, one of the reasons why we were pirating them is that they take the bottle and the bottle top and then they drink, they pour the empty one, half into this, and they add water and they sell it back into the market. So, got some time, the company realized that the only way we can be able to avoid piracy was to change the bottle cap. The bottle caps that were being pirated were being produced from China. So, if only we can change the bottle cap into a form that cannot be reproduced or is very unique to us, then you can be able to reduce or curb the piracy. So they started talking to their partners in Italy, and they talked to some other partners in Germany. They couldn't get any. However, they had a website, and out of the blue, a company in India wrote to them and told them that they produce bottle caps. And they have got different ones. There's one which has a particular technology that they have it. Among the world, they have very few companies who have it. It's called the fluorescent and rose bottle caps. They kind of they did some designs on it, and they have the technology to produce it. So they even sent a few, without even any sign of an MOU, they sent samples to Casapreco. And Casapreco, well, I liked it, and they sent their specifications. Within a year, they sent them a whole bunch of bottle caps, and they started using that. Then they went back to the website, and then they showed the pirated one, and they show you the non-pirated one, the new one, so that the user identify it. That what were they trying to do? They were trying to curb the piracy. And what has technology done? Technology helped them to reduce their transaction costs, finding a responsible and a very good trading partner who could actually give them what they wanted. It took a year before Casapreco actually visited them to even see them. So most of the negotiations were done by letters of credit and then other banking formalities that will establish that this company is credible. I'm not saying that the internet was what established, the internet established the conversation. But as I said yesterday, you don't know who is sitting down, whether he's sitting in his bedroom or some beach, just chatting with you. But they use the bank to establish the formalities concerning trading the two companies, and they were able to do that transaction. A number of companies have done that. There's a company called Laudon, Garments and Fabrics. When they came up from a setup in Ghana, they used to produce, still produce African clothing. And they came from Cote d'Ivoire, so they started producing very quality clothing. And they wanted to do labels. But by the time they ordered labels from Ghana, this was around 1999. The labels that they did from Ghana, when you iron them, then they bend up or crumple, or when you wash them once, they just, the writing and description on them yellow. So the thing is, we can see, and you don't know what the end stands for. After you wash it, it becomes the end. So what they decided to do is that they wanted very good labels for their clothing. And they started looking for some through Accra. They didn't get a very good one. What here was not very good for them. Then the guy is a French guy, the owner of the company. So he typed the French word for labels in Google and Yahoo rather. And he sent it to a website that of a Tunisian company. And the Tunisian company started discussing the first they came in English. And the guy realized that they could actually be more French based. So he started writing to them in French, and it became more comfortable to actually deal with him. Within a month, after establishing letters of credit and all the formalities with the banks, they were able to buy and order labels from them. And they used it for about 5 years. The bunch of labels they got from that company. Now I'm showing you the blue value that companies are actually making with the internet. It may not be, you don't need to hear different stories of that they hear a credit card before you could pay. There are many different ways that you could actually establish business relationships and get value from. I have friends who have actually ordered mosquito repellent, special types from Thailand, only all through the internet. But unfortunately for him, when he brought it here, the smell was not good. So he couldn't sell it on the Ghanaian market. That's another, you can't smell through the internet. That's the only problem that the internet cannot do. You can see the product, you can see by the smell. It was actually a wristband. You wear it and it's supposed to be a mosquito repellent. But the smell was too much. Or the odor, sorry. The odor was too much for real to sell. So shortages can always come into the system, but how into the market, but how do you respond to them? How do you use IT to create new networks of partners to respond to them? The other one is customers. Can customers easily switch competitors' products? Yes, it can easily happen. Many companies are having this problem because of the fact that information is getting to others faster. Now, all the banks who are doing internet banking, you can easily go online and look at what services they offer and make your own choice. So if we have an opportunity of reading, like I told you yesterday, ratemyprofessor.com, and there are 3 professors who are going to teach a particular course, and they are all their ratings here and there. I think as a student, you advise yourself and go for the one whose assignments are not great. I remember in Laudon, there was last semester, there was a course that I was teaching in the marketing department, and they were supposed to choose between, I think, relationship marketing and then internet marketing. Then when they were becoming, the students who began with me, the first day they came, my class was like 60 students. And I started talking about the assignment, like we writing a research proposal, the next week it was 30. Then they all moved to that class. That class, the lecturer told them very interesting things. But as the semester went on, then they realized that the research proposal is the same thing they are going to write in their exams. So it's like you don't need to actually study for exams. What you are doing is what you are going to write in the exam. So, and they realized that the notes were too much. Then all of a sudden, the class went back to change their mind to come back again to my class. So by the time the semester ended, I ended up with about 33 or 30, but only 30 wrote the exams anyway. Which is actually, I was surprised because I was asking myself that these same students, they keep on switching here and here, giving always trying to test which of them will be very good. Because it's not about the, it's not about the content too. Where I'll get A is more important. So if the possibility of getting A is here, you come to where you get A. And that is how customers are. You are always consistently evaluating the value proposition that we put before you. When companies come to you and they are telling you that you can do this for you, you can do this for you, you are always evaluating them. Like MTN said, everywhere you go, but sometimes really not everywhere you go. You are somewhere. But I think it's not everywhere. Have you had that problem before? You are standing by the person, and person can have this and when you move to the other ones too, after some time, you realize that it was better where you were. Then you come back and switch. The last one is bargaining power of suppliers. The bargaining power of suppliers has to do with the fact that when you have opportunity through the internet to see, or through technology to see or access a larger amount of suppliers, you, the firm, though you cannot raise your prices, you can be able to evaluate and choose which supplier is good for you. But the suppliers, if they realize that they are very few, they can also come together in the same market and increase prices, so that the clients or the firms pay the price. Because the suppliers know that they are very few, they will rather collaborate and make money together. So, bargaining power of suppliers can either go for the firm or go against the firm, all depending on the nature of the operations of the firm and how the firm can also use technology. If you can be able to use technology to get other suppliers who may not be in your vicinity, but they can be able to give you the same value, better than what the other suppliers, the current suppliers are doing, you may wonder, you may end up choosing them. ATL talks about a story where they realized that they needed to innovate themselves better than the Chinese products, the Chinese companies that were coming into the market. Now, when they created their website, they used to be the fact that they will release some of their parties and put it online. And they realized that the Chinese go there, the Chinese who are not partners in Ghana, they go there, copy the design, and then they put it back into the market. So what they started doing is that they start releasing designs faster than the rate at which you can pirate it. So while this design is already in the market, another one is in production and is already on TV through adverts or magazines or through fashion shows. So that as you pick the design, take it to China, go and pirate it and come back to the market, and the market women are now selling something new, or the desire has moved to something else. We're doing some research with them, they're telling us about how technology and the China syndrome is really affecting them. And they have to do that. Now this year, they brought, before the year began, they brought some of their new designs and give it to lectures in the University of Ghana Business School. And the question I was asking myself, that this is a very interesting way of telling you some of the things that are coming up. And they added a kind of a calendar to you so that you can see that this is what is coming up. And then you can start informing your what you become have informed purchases throughout the year. That is how the same challenge is what some of these companies are having. Consumers are sometimes bought for choice. Because now there's the pirated one and there's a good one for ATL. Now, and the pirated one is cheaper. So, but if you are able to get the products to those market women, the market place early enough, and give them a very good price, and they trust your product, they will push yours or market yours better than the China one. For some of them to know what we know as the one who sells inferior products. So the only thing they can either do is to sell a little bit of yours and a little bit of yes of the other one. That's right. But the challenge is, it's better to build good supplier relationships so that they will fight for you. They will be your market advocates. They go out there and tell you, like you see this way chocolate drink. The advert itself advocates for you to drink this, buy the drink. But it's all because of the passion in which the person who is marketing it is doing, is pushing out the products out there. So sometimes suppliers are also having that challenge that even within themselves, there's some piracy. So the clients or the firm who is buying from the supplier is actually small for choice. Which one do I choose? Do I choose the cheap one, or do I choose the original one? Now, for companies who are in the middle, who are studying the market force, there are four key strategies that you can pick up. The low cost leadership. Find a way of reducing or producing your product and at a cheaper price so that you can keep the prices low. So you can take, and you in the marketplace, you differentiate yourself by having the lowest or the lesser price product, but of good quality. Or you could choose to do product differentiation, where you can combine services together so that your services, the value your service gives to your consumers is better than what your other, the new entrants and others are trying to do. So you can bundle the services together. Like nowadays you see that some of the phones come with TV and everything together and they sell it to you. The idea is that they are bundling services. When they bundle the service, you can be able to give a better or a superior offer or superior product or value added product. Then you can also focus on the market niche. Whilst there's a challenge of trying to sell to a lot of people, you can identify which group is important, can be a target group for you, or is important, it has not been reached, and then you can focus on them. I remember there's an interesting story Kasaka was telling us that people in Accra think that all the drinks in Accra is just Kasaka and all the drinks that they drink here. But if you go to the north, they have realized that they themselves as Kasaka has not been able to penetrate there. There are some local drinks there that all that they have been doing, they have not been able to sell better than those local drinks. These local drinks are locally produced in the north and they sell better than this. That's what I'm trying to say. So the only way you can actually be able to enter to the market maybe by partnering with somebody there, maybe rebranding that local drink as one of your drinks. So there are some communities that you get into, you can only focus on a particular niche. For example, when they go to the they wanted to, some customers came to order their products 40 feet container to the US. And the people realized that they were selling it in the Ghanaian shops. So when they saw the amount of products that were being ordered from Kasablanca, asked themselves that, this person with about 2 shops or 3 shops in Virginia is buying this. Why don't we go there ourselves and then start selling in the US? So they want to do a market survey or a market analysis, a commercial survey, which every good firm will always do. And when they got there, they realized that there were a lot of challenges that the product was going to have if it's going to be sold to a more broader audience. First of all, Ghanaians drink by sitting. We don't stand and drink. We sit down, we take our chairs and sit and drink. So we hold large bottles, pour it in glasses, and that is how we drink. In the US, people drink in their bars and the pubs and in their clubs, and they stand, smaller bottles. And they hold, you see it in the movies, how they hold the bottles. Very small, like the smell of bottles. So if you compare those bottles, you are selling this big bottle of drink. Somebody will think that you are going to use the 80 It's very uncomfortable for somebody to go and drink like that and then drink another place. Secondly, if you are not holding those ones, they are holding the can types, which they don't produce can. The UK today had a challenge that most of the bottles that are used in the UK are recyclable. So they need to start thinking of if they want to sell in that community environment, you need to do that. So what did they do? They said that instead of us rushing and going to the UK and the US, we will still only fulfill orders that Ghanaians who want to sell in their shops will come and order from us. But why don't we look at our near environments? Countries that have shared the same culture with us, or by
If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.
War or business, some of the inhabitants have come to live in Ghana before, Nigeria, Liberia, all those other countries that surround us. And they started looking at those markets and establishing partnerships. By 2007, they won an award for being one of the companies that had done a very good market, exported products in the sub-region. So they would have spent years trying to get to the US and they would have gained any value. They've got to where you have resource complementarities. Something is there, they will complement yours, and they went there. Now, this is an advice that worked for what Casablanca. Let me tell you how it didn't work for another company. Yes.
They realized the people were trying to take their they also went
to do everything. They would like to do it themselves. Oh, it's right. Somebody is buying it just for this shop. So there are many Ghanaian shops in there. So we want to see if no, it's not selling to selling for this line of shops. I said it was only one individual, not to sell to and he bought it only once. He has not even come back to it. Somebody bought to the US, and another person bought to Austria, another person bought to the UK. But it's just about, it's like you go to the nations in the UK, you see Guinness there, and you see other, and sometimes Ghanaians want to favor their own drinks and buy them. For example, they say the Guinness that is done in Africa is thicker, and than the Guinness that is drunk in the UK, because the UK one is lighter. I don't know how to measure. Those who really know what about it. Some say it's darker, others say it's brighter. They've got their own definitions and Let's just run up. I was saying that the same thing that Casablanca did not work for another company. When Liston wanted to do this, they wanted to also expand into a place like Nigeria. And when the company, someone came from Nigeria to come and see them, it was a pastor friend who came and collected some of their clothes and said, you go and sell it to Nigeria. And they never heard from him. They never heard from him. And you see, Casablanca was doing the due diligence of going to the market, find them, and when they meet you, they establish a very good working relationship through the banks. And then somebody uses religion to a very good, which is a very good credibility, source of credibility, because he will not do that. And they collected close involved, got the numbers still working again and all the other stories we do with it. So sometimes you it doesn't it's not just about moving into the market that you have not resource moving in time. How do you do? How do you ensure that people who sign a contract are committed to the contract? That is why the IT doesn't do it alone. You need to bring in other business requirements that are needed, like what the banks will do for you, and what you also need to do legally and establish contracts. And a lot of people don't know the IT guys, they like doing things without establishing contracts. They are selling pen drive to you and they just sell it to you, no receipts. You know it. But you buy toffee at Maxmart, you get a receipt. Wouldn't you get a receipt? Yeah, but the IT guys, we always do that. They do a service for you, I'll repair your computer for you. Oh, how much do you have? Then you tell them how much you have, and they do okay, I'll see you next time. You can also mind you that if it didn't work for you, and you have taken a part and kept the part, how would you hold it responsible for it? Because we do everything, we make IT seem as if it's something mystical. So you have done something so strange. And that truly asks them a lot of questions. He has even helped you. But you, the client, you have got your right to ask questions. Because a service has been given to you. Even if you are not paying for it, you have spent your time and during your practice, please, at least teach him to do something, teach him about it, so the next time he doesn't need to come there. But no, we want it always come. You next time that call me, I'll come. That's what we like doing anyway. So there are different ways of we approach all these things. Now let's look at the other model that has to do the value chain model briefly. The value chain model is a model that looks at the chain of activities that the firm goes through to put its product in the marketplace. Now the chain of activities are plenty. There are some which are seen as primary, there are some which are seen as secondary. Now, Porter argues that if a firm learns how to do these chain of activities, each of them very well, by reducing the cost of getting any of them done, you add value to the final product that's going to be in the marketplace. Because we all price our final product in the marketplace based on the cost of the activities in the value chain. So if I'm able to reduce any stage of these processes, I might be able to increase the value I'll gain from the product I put out. So if I'm going to sell my product for 40 cedis and my profit is 10, so it costs me 30 cedis to produce a product. In case I'm able to work on my procurement and I'm able to reduce my cost of procuring my raw materials, I may be able to gain more. So that now maybe at the end of the day, it costs me 25 instead of 30 cedis. So now my value is 15 cedis. So he says that we need to understand all the chain of activities that our product goes through before the product gets to the marketplace and find out how we can do them very well. I'm sorry that's not very clear. In your book, what page number is that? 131. You can actually see it. Now there are primary activities and there are supporting activities. Now the primary activities has to do with the production and the distribution logistics. And then the supporting activities are the activities that support almost all the other primary activities and help them get done. So your supporting activities include administration and management. It's an important activity which comes across. Human resources, technology or computer design, then procurement. All the other departments or all the other primary activities need procurement. So the supporting activities kind of they are common to all of them. But with the primary activity, you have what inbound logistics, operations, sales and marketing, service, and outbound logistics. Now, if you look at this model very well, it is much more related to a manufacturing or a production kind of firm, not a service-oriented firm. Is that not true? No. Good. But that does not mean that it's not applicable. The knowledge is still applicable. To some extent, even though you may not have something like a lot of inbound logistics in a financial firm, there are some certain things that you may characterize as inbound logistics in such a firm too. So let's look at this more about just study its applicability than the fact that is this in my firm or is this not in my firm. So let's understand it. This is where your value lies. If you find a way of doing any of these activities and doing them well by using IT to reduce how much it costs you to get any of them done, you can increase or you can add an incremental value to the product that you are making down there. Hence, your consumers buy something better at a cheaper price, and you also get a higher revenue and returns for it. So he says that go back into your firm, look at the value, the chain of activities that helps you to produce anything or lets you put your service out there. And find a way of using IT to support them so that the cost of getting them done is reduced. If you do any of them well, that incremental value will be high. And then your company will gain some value from it. And that is very, very true. As I mentioned about Casablanca trying to do the same thing with the firm, finding a way of outsource distribution. Let us focus on more production and sales and marketing. And we'll do that one well. And they did that one well, it can help them. Others also use different ways of getting some of these things done. Some companies, they have to lay off others. Some of the employees, just to be able to get some of the liabilities off and focus more on their core competence and gain some value from it. Now, in all these, our objective is that we want to use IT to maximize the returns in our company. And we have looked at it in two different ways. The first way is the one that we look at the forces that influence the firm in the marketplace. And the second way is look at internally in the firm. What can we do better? The first one was externally, what can we do to what is happening to us in the environment? The forces that come, the effect of supplies and all those things. Then in the second one, we have looked at internally what the firm can do. Now there's another one that we also can look at, that's the value web. What the value web is, looks at, can you create networks? It's just like the same as what I was explaining concerning outsourcing. Can you create networks that can enable you to increase your value? Whether internally or externally. Can you create networks, find partners who can give you something in return that you give something to them? So that whatever you are doing, whatever business you are into, you can be able to get some value from it. And that is what we see with many companies doing today. You go to a bank and all of a sudden you can own the same bank that you are putting an account with them, they are giving you a car insurance service. But you ask yourself, what does the bank want to do with car insurance? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The idea is that as soon as you join one company, he brings you a family of services. Like whilst you are with Zenith, you can use the same Zenith account to directly pay for your maybe DSTV bills. Or whilst you are with us, when you are using an ATM, you can use the ATM to top up your airtime. What are they trying to do? They are creating a value web. So it becomes one-stop shop. When you come to us, you get almost all the basic things that you need. It's going to come to your time. You join a bank and you can get the school for your child. You can get your shopping done. It's like you have access to Quala, you have access to Mobi Morningstar, you have access all in one business that you just entered into. Even in hospital, I know some friends are doing the hospital one. As soon as you join them, a hospital automatically is attached to you. All your children can go to, or your family members can go to. So far as I can be clear that it's your family member, some of you are going to add it. The day somebody sees all of a sudden becomes a family member. Yeah. So we got down the value web. The other one is the reason why the value web works is what I'm going to try to explain is traditionally we think about the fact that when you are adding more resources to a particular production process, like the law of diminishing returns, after some time, the more resources you add does not add any incremental value. But today's business is different. Because of the value we can get from networks, everybody comes to a network with a different sort of value. So, of a unique value. So when you come and join a network, you rather kind of increase the current value that we have. When you come to add to us, you interact with me, and the synergy that we get from our business is better than we transacting individually. So instead of 1 + 1 being 2, it becomes 1 + 1 is equal to 3. Because in you relating with me, interacting with me in business, we gain more value. I'll go and say something, oh, there's this contract here, you don't even know about it, you don't even have access to it, but the virtue of the fact that you know me, I can be able to give you access to it. So if you are getting some value, some friendships and some networks bring value, some networks don't bring value. You know them. The right active value, oh, he's always taking. He's always taking, he's not adding to it. So you are looking for networks that add value. Now let me show you, use that the traditional economists to explain it. We have not diminishing returns, which I explained that as you add more resources to your production process, it doesn't add any different value, just marginal value to the output. However, in network economics, when we are adding new participants to a particular community, the community grows in size, and then the value that the community has also grows. So if I know 10 people, and today these 10 people also know other 10 people. In case I'm selling something and I expose it to the 10 people, chances are the 10 people to expose the other 10 people. So invariably, I'm one person. I'm connected to 10 people, but I'm also connected to maybe 100 people in all. That's why when you're on Facebook, they tell you that this is your friends, and the friends of your friends are what? 20,000, but your friends are 100. That means that the work of your friends is that 20,000 that they are connected to. The same way if you have bad news, the bad news will travel to those 20,000 people. That's why I aspect you also have to understand about it. For example, let me give you show you using some statistics. This is a company, two companies that we are in, student companies that we are associated with. This is a company in Uganda. It's called PC Technology. We have known them for about 2 years. And in the 2 years, they have built a fresh number of people on Facebook to 7,000. Now, this is another company that we have known them less than a year, and in just less than a year, they have built 5,000. If I give you money to invest into these student companies, where would you put it? This one or, sorry, this one or that one? Yeah, why? This is 5,000. Okay, that's a very good point that I've made. But apart from that, if you're looking at, forget about the number of years, what other reason why would you like to invest in? If the years are the same, which one will you invest in? Yeah.
The first one, yes.
This is another question I asked. Let me see. I have to repeat it again.
So let's start.
Which one do you invest in? I heard someone say something here. This one has 7,000 people. The other one has 5,000 people. I've given you 10,000 Ghana. Forget about the number of years. Where will you invest in?
7,000.
7,000. How many people will invest in 7,000? Where will you invest in? Don't tell me the reason. Where will you invest in?
I'll invest in the 7,000.
The 7,000. How many will you invest in the 7,000?
He's the one with the more active users.
How many will invest? Don't be the reason. Just tell me. 7,000. Okay, what do you say? 7,000. What do you say?
5,000.
Who will do 5,000? 5,000.
I don't know 5,000.
5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Hey, they're not as small. Some of them are just raising hands. Where will you go? 5,000. Why would you go 5,000?
That's more active users.
Thank you very much. You don't invest. See, that's what the network relationship is. That's the problem about network relationship. If you think the number is what you're looking for, you are wrong. You have to look at the number of people interacting. Number of people interacting, active, coming for party meetings, who actually vote. How many are there? This is 7,000, less than 2,000 are active. And then this is 5,000, and you have 2,000, and even this month had gone down. That means that in the previous month, they even had more people active as active users. So where would you be? Where would you be? And that's one thing about network economics. If you make the mistake and look at numbers, you know the value is not generated by numbers. It's generated by the synergy. Who and who are interacting, who and who are meeting, and then discussing. But sometimes our focus goes on to the numbers. But numbers don't show up. They doesn't show commitment. Commitment is shown in those who are active users. I hope that one you understand.
Yes.
So we are focused on even the radio stations, they all are not just followers, active listeners. That's why they are doing those promotions. Continue, keep your dial here, we'll announce something at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and then if you hear it, you can win. The whole idea is yes. See this one, you got it wrong.
Now I have a question.
He's not at the TA anymore. We'll give it to him.
I have a question. My question is this: if we look at the new lights, I can see the new lights is going up. It's going up at 1.8%. Okay, that means I'm getting new visitors. Okay, now when I look at monthly active,
I gave you only this 1 month. If I show you the whole thing, your new license just because you did a conference. That's why you are seeing it going up. It's nothing new. If over 2 years you are getting 1.8, it's not good.
okay.
It's 2 years. So.
Yeah, we didn't look at the year to say we should consider.
Yeah, but you're going to new lights, and I'm looking at it. But the most important, we also have. But the most important thing that our advice is to look at. You see, even look at daily active users, and even look at monthly active users. The daily active users cover how it is. And look at the daily active users here. It goes up and then it comes right down. Even some days, just flat. Christmas time, all the time just flat. Whilst you have, at least, it's always almost up. But it's just December statistics, so you cannot hold it onto them. Hold on to them on that. But you always have, sorry. No, that's it. But what I wanted to point out is more about the active users. So you can have a product that you can, it's on the market and no, you don't have an active petroleum fund. Then somebody can bring his product within 2 months, he has an active petroleum fund. And if I should have even gone into the type of users they have, it's surprising that the one from BC Tech, the 7,000, only 2,000 are from Uganda. The rest are from different parts of the world. And then the 5,000 one, 4,000 of them are from Ghana. So you can just imagine if you are giving money to advertise to Africans, where will you get more Africans? The smaller one. Because the other 7,000, if 7,000, only 2,000 are from Africa, this is really bad. But it also depends on the nature of the business. So, in a nutshell, sustaining competitive advantage is a very difficult thing. Sustaining competitive advantage. I don't know whether you will do strategic management as part of any of your courses.
Yeah, it's somewhere, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay. You need to do that. And if you never do that, tell them they should teach you the resource-based view of the firm and the resource-based theory.
We should tell them.
You are supposed to know that. That one tells you how to sustain. It's beyond this class and time to be able to talk about that. But that one tells you how to sustain competitiveness. Yeah. It tells you, and it's very, very interesting. It tells you how to sustain competitiveness. So you can write RBT or RBV, resource-based theory. You can read it on your own. It actually argues that to be able to become sustain competitiveness, your resource has to have 4 attributes. 1, the resource should be valuable. 2, it should be rare, not rare in terms of being scarcity. It should be rare in functionality. It's like me having Word and you having Word, Microsoft Word. But what I can do, Microsoft Word, you cannot do with it. So it's more about the functionality than rather the possession. See, more many IT guys like and you have it. It's not about what you can do with it. So they go to their computer, they have a lot of things, but what you can do with it is very poor. It's like somebody buy a very expensive computer but cannot generate even 1,000 Ghana cedis from it a month. And maybe somebody can have some old SP laptop and you design maybe 3 websites a day and getting maybe 5,000 Ghana every month out of the same laptop. So it's more about being rare in functionality. Now these two will help you gain advantage but not sustain it. What will help sustain it is 1, if the resource is not perfectly imitable, that you cannot perfectly copy it, you cannot perfectly imitate it. That even if you are imitating it, it will cost you more to imitate it than it will cost you to produce it. Then secondly, if you cannot be strategically substituted. And that's what we are talking about these things in one way or the other when we're looking. If you cannot copy it perfectly and you cannot perfectly substitute it, I'll sustain my competitive edge. That is why people spend so much coaching people, so that they can recreate what? The same talent that is in this company. I'd rather steal his manager, bring him to my company, and create the value out of him. But sometimes people forget that the manager does not work alone. It is the network of relationships that make him who he is. It's like going to buy tourists and bringing him to your team and he doesn't score more. After some time. Oh, it's like this year, he's always So you always have to know. You always have to know that whenever you attract new talent, you have to realize that it's not if you are buying, you buy. Oh, you can't just buy Messi. You have to buy the rest. That's what to make it to make money. The only people who can buy the baby will be play this. No. Maybe Eto. Eto is where he shines everywhere he goes. But that is how it is. The truth is that value is not created just in one person. And I think somebody said it when you are defining what the company is. A company is more than what you said. It's more than one person. Yeah. And it's more than one person. Even if you have to score the goal, somebody has to do the penalty for you to communicate it over the back. So don't worry anyway. Otherwise, you end up being Dubai. So I end up being Dubai. So this is in a nutshell what we wanted to do with IT for better advantage. I think we have about 15 minutes break.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can come back about 10 to 5. It's not at 4 or 5. Oh, then we have more time to. Then come back.
If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.